seems like this bursary really doesn't further sexual education.
No, it does not.
What's a better way that we should be teaching young people in South Africa about sexual education?
Well, I think we need to encourage open dialogue. If we don't engage our, the young generation and be practical about a young woman, this is a consenting adult that wants to further her studies, better her education, and we're saying that there are certain restrictions attached to that. That's certainly not fair, and that is why I said that this is completely unconstitutional. We should be talking to them about safe sex, make contraceptive readily available. There was also come to involved in their relationships with their partners, or they fall pregnant and rely on the state grant system. I think that's completely unfair, it's unjust. Young women, if you have set a goal for yourself, you're going to achieve that regardless of what is, what you've done, or if you're in a relationship with someone else. If I've decided my life path is to get a career and to get a degree, I'm going to remain focused. Being sexually active is not going to change that.
I think many adults can attest to that.
Yes.
Being sexually active doesn't change their focus from their goals and what they want in life. Now, I want to open up the broader conversation. What do scholarships like these say about where we are in South Africa when it comes to honoring human rights?
Unfortunately, it says we haven't come very far. Within KwaZulu-Natal, we know that customary practices are very strong and it's deeply entrenched within the communities. And as I mentioned, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. That the Human Rights Commission should certainly step in and question the validity of this process and whether it should be continued and allow this. But why do you have to create a scenario where this has to be a prerequisite? I think it's completely unfair, and it shouldn't be.
I spoke to an author recently who questioned the need for traditional law when there is constitutional law, and it seems like a kind of a very blurry area, because of course people have the right to their beliefs and traditions, but there's also this constitution. Do you think something needs to be made more clear when it comes to this very gray area?
I'm not sure whether it is a grey area or just people pushing their personal agendas. If we have a scenario where the law states quite clearly that women have to have the right to equality, that you have the right to privacy, that we all have the right to dignity, why is it then that we are saying that because it's tradition, it should be permitted? There should be no blurred lines. This is pure black and white. You cannot discriminate purely based on a certain principle or fact or custom and belief within your community.
How do we move forward? What changes do we need to make?
I think that action needs to be taken. This needs to be explored at a higher level, and that it should be challenged at national level to see whether this should be scrapped and whether they cannot look at other processes of promoting women moving forward, men too moving forward, without anything that compromises their integrity and the ability to, practice what they choose to as an adult in South Africa.
Now, bursary aside, is virginity something we should even be speaking about when it comes to sexual education?
I don't think so. I'm flabbergasted, I have to be quite honest. I cannot believe that, as I said, in 2016, we're having this sort of discussion and this sort of engagement. Education and the access to education and bursaries should be based purely on merit and your academic achievements. Nothing else should be brought into light.
Shahima, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you so much for your time.